Welcome everyone to Planet New Jersey. I'm Vinnie Civitillo alongside Randy Stephens. Absent today is our friend and co-host Casey Skarecki, but we're going to do her proud. You can catch this episode anywhere you can get a podcast. That's iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you get them. This episode happens to be sponsored by the New Jersey Academy of Home Inspectors, and representing them today is, I'm going to read this because it's a long one, Director, Owner, Board Certified Master, Inspector, Instructor, Nick Bruno. Nick, say hi. Let the audience hear your voice.
I want to thank you very much for having us.
Oh, yeah, it's our pleasure.
Thanks,
you, Nick.
Thank you.
All right. I got an icebreaker today before we get in. A new law requiring New Jersey student drivers to log a minimum of 50 hours of practice driving took effect this Saturday. So basically, as they get their learner's permit, they're going to, if you're under 21, you're going to need this special permit, obviously, and you're going to need 50 hours behind the wheel with an adult.
Is it still at 16, Vin?
See, I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm so old that it was later than 16 when I got my license. Or I didn't get like a learner's permit at 16. I think I got my actual license, whatever, and then it was that.
I did the permit at 16. I remember it was like I think I did the driving class course with the school for like 3 days, trying to help the parents save some money. I don't remember what the hours were though. But 50 sounds like it could be a lot.
It is a lot, but I mean, I don't think anybody would argue that we want teenagers, practicing more before they get out on their own. I did want to ask what the experience was like with you guys, since now they have to be behind the wheel with an adult for 50 hours. I can't even imagine being behind the wheel with my daughter for 50 hours, or, in the passenger seat for 50 hours with my daughter without...
Hey, Nick, I think Vince trying to say that you might be older than us, and he wants to know what the experience was like getting your license just a couple of years ago before we got ours.
I think it was about 12. I had to be 12 years old when I was been that far back. But
he was trying to be nice, Nick.
that's going to be my wife's job, because it's not going to work out too good for me in there with my daughter, or my son for that matter, for 50 hours. So she's going to have the brunt of that. But luckily, we're just past that. So.
I remember my dad traumatized me so much that I didn't even drive for the first few years. Like, I got the license and I was like, this can just sit in a closet somewhere. I'm done with it. It wasn't until I got my first job that I was like, all right, I guess I need to, but it was forced upon me.
Well, when my wife back in the day, when we were just going out, I said, okay, I want you to drive a stick. And let's just say that as of today, she still doesn't know how to drive a stick. So I'm just throwing that out.
A few burnt clutches later.
Yeah, right. Randy, how about you?
I mean, honestly, my experience was probably a lot like Nick's, where there were. I definitely didn't drive my mom. I think it was my grandfather and probably an aunt. There were some people that was like, nope, not doing it. You got to ride with this person or that person. So when he started talking about his family, I'm like, yep, that sounds very familiar.
I think a lot of guys have that same story. Just throwing it out there.
So I wonder then though, like if you take that, like if they still do that driving course for discount things, like I wonder if that's included, because I think you might have drove for an hour or two for 3 days. So let's just say two hours a day for 3 days, like 6 hours before they signed off and gave you a permit. So that's vastly different from what they're talking about now.
I can barely. You know what I remember the most was that as I was driving, the instructor just kept grabbing the wheel and like pulling it back towards. And I was like, no, I'm fine. We're not going to get in an accident.
And they had a brake on their side of the car. I remember that.
I hope they did.
Yeah, I do remember that. They had the brake.
Yeah. Wow. Well, good luck to these newbies, man, getting license out there. But I'm all about safe driving out here. I'm trying to keep my insurance rates down while everything else is going up.
Speaking of instruction, though, tell us a little bit about the New Jersey Academy of Home Inspectors.
So we're a veteran-owned and operated home inspection school. We provide the necessary training for students to navigate through and get their home inspection license. So that is, they have to get 140 hours of classroom, 40 hours of field mentoring. We give them all that. We give them the book. That's like a 1,080-page book. It's a very, very thick book. There's a lot of information. They have to pass a test. The test is a 4-hour test, 200 questions. So you really got to know your stuff before you're going to take that test, and we help them navigate that by giving them the training. We've went above and beyond. We actually created a question database. It's the only one of its kind in the country, actually.
Nice.
It's specifically geared for the National Home Inspection Exam, which, by the way, is recognized by 35 states. So there's 30, and every day
Wow.
there's more and more states. So you have to take that exam. That's not just like a New Jersey exam, it's a national exam. And we created that database, has over 2,500, I think it has like 2,700 questions specifically geared for that test. So we give that to our guys for free. It is a paid site, obviously, but we give that to them for free during the course of the test. So for the 10 weeks, it's 14 hours a week, 140 hours for 10 weeks. And during that time, they have exclusive use to that. And we encourage them to use it. And we actually use that as part of their homework assignments.
So you mentioned, they really got to know their stuff to pass this test. There's got to be a lot of fields of study, let's say, in a home inspection anyway. I mean, I don't know exactly what you're inspecting. You can get into that. But I mean, there's pipes, there's electrical, you name it, like the foundation, cement work. I know they're not doing the work specifically, but in order to inspect it, you've got to be an expert on all of these things, right?
You have to be pretty close to an expert. You have to at least be able to recognize the deficiency. You don't have to say what caused the deficiency, because that would
Right.
be beyond our expertise. We're not foundation specialists. We're not HVAC guys. We have knowledge to be able to recognize that deficiency, call that deficiency out, and then bring that to their attention so they know it needs to be repaired. We're actually taking a snapshot picture of the house, of its condition at the time of inspection. And then the clients, the buyers who are buying the homes, they're going to be able to use that to make an informed decision. Do I need it? The home might need a whole bunch of repairs that it's not economically feasible for them to purchase that home, because there's foundation issues that might cost 10, 20,000 to do it. It's something that we identify, hey, there is a foundation issue. Then we would recommend them call a structural engineer, and they find out, oh, the price is this much. We've saved as a home inspection. I also own a home inspection company, obviously.
Nice.
And all of our inspectors are instructors at the school. Speaking of that, in our school, unlike the other schools, every single employee at our school is a licensed working inspector. So that makes a big difference as well.
Well, you did say it was what, home inspector school run by home inspectors,
Yeah.
right?
That's right. That's 100% correct.
And
That's
Nick, let me double back here. I heard because you said that the business in New Jersey Association of Home Inspectors is a veteran owned and operated, right? So I don't want to just jump over that. We've got some co-workers who have served in the armed forces, and we've got some co-workers now who even their children are serving abroad and training. So we first want to tell you thank you for your service.
Yes, thank
and
you.
just want to touch a little bit about what that history looked like that transferred or led you into what you're doing now.
Well, I was in law enforcement, military for a majority of my career. I started this when I got out of law enforcement in 2015. In 2005, I retired from the military. I started in the regular Army down in the infantry unit. Then I went to the Army National Guard in the tankers unit. I was federal law enforcement, so I went to the Navy Reserve. I went in there as a 95-45 to conversion. So I worked as a master at arms, but I had to, which is a police officer, cop, on the street. But I had to test out as a gunner's mate, because that's what I went in. I didn't know. They were asking me what the temperature of a magazine is on the test for promotion. That's a room on a ship. I was on a ship once to serve a restraining order. What do I know? So I said, let me get some rank. So I went to the Army Reserve. I went to a division level where I retired out of there after my 20 in 2005. So that was my military history. And I did a lot of training there. I did a lot of training when I was federal law enforcement. I started in the Bureau of Prisons, then I went to immigration, then I retired from the Federal Air Marshal Service. So with that training, this is a natural transition. I said, let me get some experience. I opened up my home inspection company. I did that, again, since 2014, 2015. And in 2019, just prior to COVID, I opened up the school. And we use a lot of those methods. I do have a partner in the school, Vinnie. He's also was a training guy. I worked with him very closely. I worked with him in the Bureau of Prisons, and then again in the Air Marshals, where we did a lot of training over there. So it was a natural progression for us to get into this field and to provide that training. We enjoy instructing, so we carried that over. We carried the methods and the teaching methodologies into our school to making it what it is now. And realistically, we're the biggest school out there.
Wow.
Nice. And it's interesting, right? So in the spring and the fall, I coached like little kids soccer. Not that I was a great soccer player, but I was sitting on the sides when I registered my little ones, and I'm like, okay, these guys need help. They're not doing that great. So I'm saying that as a segue to you. Like when you ran your company, was it something that you saw in terms of how folks are being trained, or something that you experienced in terms of receiving training that was like, you know what, I got to improve this, or I have an idea of how we can make this better? Like, was this something of that sort that kind of pushed you in that direction to start the school?
It's kind of all that. I knew what I was doing from day one.
Okay.
Once I left the military or left the law enforcement, I knew I wanted to get into some type of training. So I said, let me start the home inspection company and get where I'm comfortable, where I know enough. At this point, I've done thousands of inspections. So I wanted to get that comfort level, and I also wanted to be able to get that knowledge and be able to bring it out there. So I hire personally our inspectors from the school. That was the other goal,
Gotcha.
hiring the inspectors from the school and making a difference for people that are going into whatever it is. Because I'll give you an example. I was actually the lead firearms guy, and I was the second guy taking over as the lead firearms guy in the Air Marshal Service. And I remember the guy. He goes, I forget the question or what we were discussing or doing. He goes, why am I going to tell you anything? I'm like, what? He goes, nobody taught me. Why should I teach you? So
Wow.
that was something that stuck to me. And I obviously I didn't appreciate that, but I always think about that. And if I could help somebody and give them that level of instruction and so they could get their confidence, let's do that. Let's make it so nobody's going to say, well, I don't know what to do. Nobody's telling me
Nice.
or helping me. And honestly, when I'm an old guy now at this point, but I never had anybody help me navigate through my career or to anything else. Just kind of did it all on my own. So that's another reason why, I wanted to get to school. I wanted to get it up there so we could provide instruction so people don't have to feel like that. And, they'll have a more of a quicker chance to reach their full potential because you
Nice.
have that learning curve that helps you. If you have somebody out there that's willing to take the time and give you that information.
So I know you mentioned that the the coursework is about 140 hours plus, some mentoring. About how long does that take?
So that's 140 hours. It's 14 hours a week. So we do that. We also keep in mind what are guys doing? They're working, right? So you
Yeah.
can't just stop. If you want to transition into another field, you're not going to be able to do it if you just have to go every day a week. If you're going to, people are going to have to work their full-time jobs. So what we did is we said, hey, let's make it so it's seamless. Sundays from 9 to 4:30. Come in Sundays. And what we did is we also set up the classroom. Unlike the other schools, we don't teach from a laptop. Our instructors teach from the podium at the school. We're at the school. We're teaching. Students, you do whatever you want. You want to come into the school or you want to learn from home. We had a guy, actually was an air marshal. One of my buddies was taking the course. He was taking this class on a flight to Tel Aviv.
Wow.
So
Wow.
you can take it anywhere you have internet. So we teach from the classroom. Guys have the opportunity to come into the classroom. What do you want to do? You want to come into the classroom? Come in. You want to take it from home? You take it from home. So it's Sunday from 9 to 4:30, Monday and Wednesday from 6 to 9:30 for a total of 10 weeks, 14 hours a week. After week 10, week 1 starts right back up. So if you miss a class, you just wait till it rolls around.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm thinking about this, right? So, then you were saying like you're not exactly sure what level of expertise folks have. I think most people will be in our shoes, where it's like the only time we deal with a home inspector is when we are purchasing our home, right? It's like
Yeah.
we gotta find a company somebody recommends or whatever, and
Right.
then we trust this guy who does like Nick was telling us earlier, depending on the size of the home, however long he's there. Like, are there any other reasons why someone would have to use a home inspector outside of just a home purchase?
So what happens is when you're selling your house. you go put your house up for sale, and now what happens is you're at the final stages. Now they're doing a home inspection. What do? They find out that they have a foundation crack that's going to cost 20,000 to get fixed, or whatever it's going to cost. It's going to cost a lot of money. I mean,
Right.
it's not cheap. Deal falls apart at the 11th hour. So what do? You want to make sure maybe I get a pre-sale home inspection, so now there's no surprises for me. So that's another thing that people do. They get pre-sales inspections. We also do
Gotcha.
walkthroughs, um, uh, construction. So if guys, we could do when the studs are up, we'll go in, we'll do a pre-sheetrock inspection. So we're making sure that things, even though it's not a code compliant inspection, we use what's called modern building standards as a yardstick. So we'll identify if there's any deficiencies while they're going through. But most of the time, other than a home inspection, you're going to do it for um, really a pre-sales inspections. And then sometimes we'll do it to see if things were fixed correctly. Sometimes we'll do it on a maintenance level, that type of thing. So there's other reasons why to do it, but honestly, primarily, we're doing it for that sale of that home.
Nice.
Now you had said this the test, the exam is a federal test. It's not
National,
like
it's
yeah,
a national,
national. Sorry, I
it's
didn't
a,
mean yeah, like national. So there's no New Jersey specific test. So when you say like people can log in from anywhere, if I'm living in Colorado, I could take your school and do
let,
that?
let me be clear.
Okay.
The test is a national exam, 100%. Other states use it. Whether you use it or not, it's up to the state. So home inspections are governed by the state. They're not governed by
Uh
any national or federal entity. It's just by the state. And what they do is they determine, hey, we're going to use a national test. 35 states are now using that national exam. New Jersey used to have their own. Now they use the national. I'm not 100% sure. I think New York has their own or the national, and they have the option to do that. But there's what's called the SOP, standards of practice. That varies from state to state, and you must use the SOPs to do it. Now, if I want to be an inspector, and we're working on this actually, hopefully this year we'll have it. Our course will be so you can get licensed in New York and New Jersey. So that's something we're putting together. But if you want to come from New York, you're licensed in New York and work in New Jersey, well, you took the test, the national test, so you met that standard. But New Jersey wants you to take another 40 hours because their class is only 100 hours. New Jersey has one of the most stringent standards for home inspections being 140 hours. Most schools or states have a lesser mandate.
well, there's a reason we're the best.
Yeah.
Well,
Then I was gonna say the same. It
that
doesn't sound too foreign to us, right?
yeah, well, I think the insurance companies might differ. That's a whole nother thing.
Sure,
So, so,
sure.
so actually, Nick, and speaking of insurance, man, like there's rates in everybody. Like you hear it just across, obviously, in different parts of the country. But are you seeing like rates going up in terms of insurance for things we're covering homes and things?
So
Because I'm sure
for
that probably affects
insurance,
you.
the problem is, and I'm not talking about any single school, although there has been schools that have created issues, lack of education. They're not educating the inspectors. I know my partner, he went to one of the schools and he's like, why would he asked for something and why would I tell you you're my competition? Well,
Wow.
you shouldn't be in that business to begin with.
Mm,
So we do unfortunately have some inspectors that have gone to play. I mean, we've had guys that came over from other schools that said, hey, uh, they got ghosted halfway through the school. They paid it. They couldn't get their money back and they gave them the certificate. And they're like, I don't want my certificate. So the
Wow.
yeah.
education plays a big part of it. And part of that is why they don't know, how to put that report together, what to look for, what to annotate, how to protect themselves. So hopefully we're weaning away from that. We're doing a large number of inspectors these days, and our education, we're going as if you're doing it from my house, and that's the way it should be. So we have a plaque on the wall. It says, "Write it for the judge." And what I mean
Mm,
by that is that every home inspection report you write, pretend it's going to go in front of a judge,
CYA.
so it will withstand the scrutiny of the law. So
Sure.
write it for the judge. That's how we teach our guys. So insurance is a little high. I mean, it's not that bad. It's, probably about $2,500 for the year, which is really not that bad when you think about it. I've been doing this for a long time. I've done thousands of inspections since 2014. I've been sued one time.
Wow.
It's for WDI, and it's kind of crazy because there was a stoop outside, and termites were behind the stoop. What am
Mm.
I mean, my
Yeah,
wife.
you guys don't go and taking things
I,
apart,
I, I
right?
don't have X-ray. I forgot my X-ray goggles for that inspection. When they removed the stoop, they found it, and what do you think happened? It got thrown out. So it did get thrown out of court. So that's a good thing. But the insurance is manageable. But hopefully with the education and how we're doing things and how the education for CEUs and everything else, continuing education units are going, it's getting to be a little bit better. And hopefully we see those rates go down in the future.
Nice, nice.
Forgive my ignorance on this question, because like Randy mentioned, there's only so many times in my life I've had to have, a home inspector in my life. Is this like a full-time, thing that you can do, or is it more of like something that somebody gets certified, or not, yeah, certified in, and then on the side they, how often are houses being sold and inspected?
So I've averaged and now I'll be 100% honest. I've averaged over 250 to 300 inspections a year,
Wow.
almost my
Wow.
entire career since I've been doing this
Wow.
since 2014. Now times have changed just a little bit. So I hired a guy, so he works for me full time,
Mhm.
and lately it's been a little bit of a challenge. We're just over, right around 200 now. When I was doing 250 to 300 a year, we're still able to manage. We're still doing well enough to continue to have him employed. So that's good. But it's all, but there's going to be highs and lows. We've just had a high for so long, and I believe that we're just coming out of the low because the interest rates. Now think about
I
this.
was going to say it's probably
You,
affected by
you,
the housing industry, right? The real estate
Oh yeah,
market,
for
right?
sure.
you have a house. You're paying 3% on your house. You want to upgrade. Okay. So now I'm going to take my
Not to 7%, I don't.
exactly. So the only people that are really buying are first time buyers, right? People that have to. So we're not seeing that much movement, but just like everything else, what goes up comes down, what comes down goes up. So we're just waiting for it to come. I believe that this spring, this year is going to be a big year. Um, we're not probably not going to get down to 3, but from everything from what it looks like, we're probably going to be down around 5, and that's when we'll really see a lot more movement. So that's what we're hoping for. But you could definitely make a good living, and again, you could work as much or as little as you want. So me personally, I was doing jobs 2 hours away, 2.5 hours away. Even today, even though it is a little bit slow, it's also that time of year. I'm still not doing jobs 2 hours a week. I don't need to. So,
Yeah.
it's still good. And then the more services that you get is the more money you're gonna make. So if you're doing it for 2 hours, right? You're there for 2.5 hours on an inspection, and now I could do a mold inspection with that. Now that's another $245. You could walk out of it with almost $1,000, depending on what services you're doing. Home inspection, you're doing termite, you're doing radon, you're doing mold, you're doing pool. I mean, it just depends on your certifications, your motivation, how much you want to work. But then again,
Awesome.
you get guys that you could do it on a part-time basis as well, supplement their income. You do
Yeah.
2 or 3 inspections a month to supplement your job. You could supplement a pretty penny. And we won't even get into the commercial aspect. That's a whole nother animal.
And you know what, Nick, tell me this. What's the difference between or fundamentally it could be the same, but what's it between like a home inspector and then what you hear like insurance adjusters, like folks that come out and try to help you,
Oh yeah, sure.
like what's it seems similar, but I'm pretty sure there's probably some differences there.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said before, we're basically taking a picture of the condition of the home at the time of inspection, and they're using the information that we give them to make an informed decision and to negotiate the pricing. A lot of times, sometimes I don't get anything, but what the adjuster's doing is they're more of a repair. We don't. You can, but we don't recommend you're putting in the cost of anything. The adjusters are
Okay.
okay. How much that? Now, what happens if I tell somebody, hey, the roof's going to cost you $2,000, and now they come in, they buy the house, and now it's $10,000 because you couldn't see underneath that they had to replace all the sheathing. They're going to say, hey, I would have never bought the house. So now I'm jammed up. So that's why you can, and I always tell guys, if you're going to put cost in a report, then you need to be, if you're an HVAC guy, fine, and you want to do it. You have that history. If you're a roofer, fine.
Gotcha.
But, you're starting to put numbers in there, and then that's a problem. The adjusters are more so putting the numbers, hey, it's going to cost this much, this is what we need.
Gotcha.
So
I have one more question, and I'll throw it to Randy after that. But for the average person, like for me, for Randy, what should we be looking for in a home inspector?
That's a
When
great
it's
question,
time
Vinny.
for us to sell a house or buy a house.
That's a great question.
well, they should probably be bald, have glasses, a goatee.
Absolutely, obviously that stuff. But what?
Veteran
I'm just going
background, master trainers,
master trainer, been in the military. A couple things over there that you might want to look for.
Checking all the boxes.
Checking all the boxes. But some of the things you want to look at is the education. How long you've been doing it. What do your reports look like? So what I do is I always I have a template I use, and I do get a lot of jobs that guys are always coming back because I'm sending them my business cards. So the first thing I do after I get off the phone with you, I'm texting you my cards. Now I'm texting you everything we just talked about, a breakdown of the pricing, all that good stuff. I'm texting you a sample report. So you want to see what kind of report that you're going to send out. I'm not going to be an alarmist. We can't deal with emotion. We're just dealing with the facts. And one of the things I always say to all my students, you ever hear Paul Blart, the mall cop?
Yes.
Yes.
Kevin James. Yeah.
What was the motto? What was his thing?
Was it serve and protect? It wasn't serve and
Observe
protect.
and report.
Observe and report. Yes.
That's what we do as home inspectors. We observe and report. So you want to be detailed orientated. You want to be out there. You've been doing it for a while. That kind of thing is what you're looking for. Education as well. What certifications do you have? And if you go to my website, you could see on my website that my certifications are on there. Some guys they don't. Also communication, dude. That's huge. Are you getting back to me? Are you picking up the phone when I need to? If not, that's one of the reasons why I have a call center. Because if I can't pick up a phone, the first thing, what do people do when they call you up for an inspection and you don't answer the phone? You call them back 10 minutes later, I already got somebody.
They've already found somebody. Yeah.
Because somebody else picked up the phone. So I have a call center. So, you want to make sure that the communication lines are open, that kind of thing.
So, and go ahead, Vim, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, this is a follow-up. Do you ever see people get like a second opinion in these kinds of situations? Like if I'm just not happy that this guy says that my house failed, do you ever see people go out and get somebody else too? Or is that not, once somebody says no, then it's no?
Yes, sometimes they'll second it. That's why I always tell guys, you got to keep the language simple. You have to make sure, be very detailed orientated when you do it. Make sure that you're putting in the component, the condition, the implication, and the action. That's what we're required to do. So for every deficiency, component, condition, implication, and action, the cause, you don't have to know the cause. You don't have to put it in there, but you have to have that language in there. Otherwise, you're going to get a lot of callbacks. So what does this mean? Pictures. We put a lot of pictures in the report. So we're putting in the report, we're using a tablet as we're going through the house. Once we're going through the house and using that tablet, putting all that information in as we go through, so we can't forget anything either. That's the other thing. We have another camera, which we take at least about 150, 200 pictures per inspection.
Wow.
So we're actually taking that as we're going through the home. So we have a lot of that information.
Nick, that's really good. I got two questions for you just before we jump into our trivia. The first one is, so once you complete or are certified by New Jersey Academy of Home Inspectors, I know you mentioned that, for your business or company, you've driven 2.5 hours away, work as much as you want. Are you then certified to work throughout New Jersey? Could you cross over to Pennsylvania, or is it?
Pennsylvania's a whole nother animal. That's a whole nother thing. You don't need a license in Pennsylvania. However, you have to be affiliated with a home inspection association and have done
Gotcha.
over 250 paid inspections. Then you have to use their standards of practice to do it. So that there is criteria that you need to meet in order to do that inspection for Pennsylvania. But a New Jersey home inspector license is just that. It's, you know, it's
Gotcha.
like a cop, you know, where does he have jurisdiction? He has jurisdiction as a
Gotcha.
or a state type deal.
Gotcha. And then my last question, and I know you just mentioned you guys have a call center, which I'm going to assume that most or a lot of the other instructors or schools don't. What are some other things that differentiate or separate New Jersey Academy of Home Inspectors from a random?
That call center is specific to my personal home inspection company, Detail Home Inspection. So I have that when guys are calling in.
Gotcha.
What we do though, and it's a lot, and again, I'm a big proponent of communication. Somebody calls, you got to answer, you got to pick up the phone. Somebody leaves you a message, you got to respond. Someone gives you an email, you have to respond. So what we did is we have a setup at the school where if you call the landline, it goes to me and it goes to my business partner, Vinnie. So one of us are answering that phone. And if one of us, you know, he does a lot of the I'm the veteran, he does the VA the GI bills.
Gotcha.
He does all the banking and stuff. So the applications that come in. So if I can't help you, I'll make sure that he gets the information and he helps you. So we're real good about that, answering these calls and getting in there again. We're hands on. We have the hybrid classes. We're not teaching from a laptop. We're teaching from the classroom. Guys could come in. Some guys come in once a week. Some guys come in every day. Some guys don't come in at all. It's completely up to you and how you want to do it. And that's a big thing that separates it. We have added a tremendous, tremendous amount of information that is not in the course. That's not in the book. So what we have done is we have put in, if I could actually find it, I could have pulled it up, but anyway, it's got all the so geothermal, that's on the test, that's not in the book. Pool fence. So what's the maximum height a pool fence could be above grade? That's actually a test question. 4 inches. Pool's not in the course. The only
Oh
course that's
wow.
taught the only course that's taught in the state of New Jersey is Principles of Home Inspections and Standards. Everybody else is teaching from 2005. Ours is from 2018. It's broken up into 13 units. 13 units as opposed to 10. If you look at our course curriculum, you look at theirs, they're 10 units. Ours is 13 units. And in there, we put in the SOPs. It's not in the course, it's in our course. The SOPs before every section. So we talk about the plumbing SOPs. We talk about the electrical SOPs right before we're going into that chapter. We talk about geothermal, not in the book. Not hot water heater, Insta-Hots heaters, Hartford Loop. Again, not on in the book, but on the test. How far does a soil stack have to be from a swamp cooler? You even know what a swamp cooler is?
I have no
Absolutely
idea.
not. Then I'm like, absolutely not.
I got to be honest with you.
I
I
gotta
don't
tell you,
even
I'm
know.
picturing it like I got a cooler full of like beer and soda, and I'm keeping it in a swamp so it stays cool. You know? Maybe like a
I
little
wish,
rope that I pull it out. You know,
I wish that the case. So that is a actual it's a cooling unit that's used down south that uses water to cool, for like an air conditioning unit.
Oh wow.
It's usually on top of roofs. We're not going to be using that down here. Why? Because it freezes. Stuff freezes
Yeah.
down here. So that's not something we would use. That is a test question. That is on the test. Swamp coolers. So that's in our course. Ductless air conditioners, geothermal, swamp coolers. I already said that. Um,
Wow, man.
just the Hartford Loop, exterior inspection procedures. Oh, pool fences. Again, that's on the test. Inspecting with drones. That is not in the book. That's in our course. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. Air emitting valves, sewer ejector pumps, sewer ejected pump alarms, septic systems in on the test, not in the book or not in anybody's course, but it's in our course. We also give you the book. The other guys are either giving you a digital copy or make you pay for the book. So we're giving that to them. We want them to have the materials. I mean, let's be honest. What makes you successful? Your students, their success is our success. If
Right.
they're not successful, then we're not successful. We're not doing something right. So we want them to be successful. So we give them all the tools that we have available to us for them to be successful.
That's
Cool.
amazing, man. And you know what? Then and we're just about to transition over to our trivia question to wrap this up. But
Yeah,
I think you
speaking of
see
tests, right?
yeah, I think you see the benefit of like now understanding why it says like a home inspector school run by home inspectors is because we're teaching you stuff that not only is required, but these are things we've known, learned, and seen throughout our years in the industry. So that's pretty
And,
cool. I definitely see the advantage there.
and just think about this. How could somebody help you with the challenges that a home inspector
That they've
faces
never.
day to day if they're not a home inspector? How could they help you but with the test, to navigate a test that they've never taken? I mean,
Right.
the list just goes on. So that's one of the reasons why that was one of our big things. We said, hey, look, if you're gonna, we're gonna have somebody and they're gonna work here. I can't hire you unless you are a licensed home inspector in the state of New Jersey.
That's pretty cool. So, then are you ready?
I was born ready.
Nick, let me just tell you this. I'm doing the worst in terms of this competition. What you're going to need is something to write on that you can hold up to the screen so we can see your answers. There's
Oh
three
boy.
New Jersey-based trivia questions. And like I said, there's a lunch card in this for yourself, or unless you want to gift it to one of your students, which I wouldn't do. I keep it for myself. And whenever you guys have something to write on a sheet of paper, we'll go ahead and kick this thing off.
All right.
I'm good.
All right, let's go. So, question number one: what New Jersey-based university was known as Queens College from 1776? I'm sorry, 1766 until its current name was issued in 1825. New Jersey-based university, formerly known as Queens College, back in the 17 to 1800s.
It's a
I got it.
university. All right. You got it?
No, I'm
I
saying
got
it looked like I
something.
had you
I'm
stumped
telling you,
there.
this
I
is a
got
full
something.
out
I don't
guess.
have
Yeah.
it.
I've got the
Uh,
master instructor stumped.
Oh,
Then you
yeah.
have an answer?
How's that? Princeton?
What do you got, Nick? What'd you take? Did you take a shot?
Rutgers.
Rutgers is correct.
Oh, cool.
There you go. Look at
Nice.
that. Let me just make sure you got that.
I'm
I
just
know
glad.
it's hard. I hate these virtual backgrounds, you know.
There it is. There it is. Rutgers.
I'm just glad to see somebody beat Ven because I lose this thing all the time. All
That's
right,
gonna be my only
question
one.
number two. What do we have here? Okay, what city in northern Delaware is located after a major city in New Jersey? There's a city in northern Delaware that has the same name as a major city of New Jersey, and it's located in the northern region.
I got you
City
on
in
this
north
one.
City in northern Delaware named after a major northern New Jersey city. You guys got answers for us? What we got?
I do. You
What do you
ready?
got, Vin?
I got Newark, Delaware.
What do you got? What do you got, Nick?
Camden, which I know is wrong.
Newark is correct. There you go, Vin.
Yep.
We're 1-1.
Yep.
1-1 right here.
I've been
Tiebreaker.
there. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I'm gonna leave that alone. Number. Scroll down number 5. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, nice. Shown on the state seal, what animal became New Jersey's official state animal in 1977? It's on the New Jersey state seal, and it became the New Jersey official state animal in 1977.
Oh wow! You know how many times I've seen that seal at our events, and I have
Listen,
no
in our line
idea
of
what's.
work, I'm sure we've seen it a lot of times. And his too. We got a veteran here, federal law enforcement, a trooper.
That has come up before for something, and I knew it, and I can't remember, and I was surprised because it wasn't what you would. It wasn't like a bird or something.
Take a guess. What do we got here, Vin? Vin, you're
Here's my
incorrect.
guess.
Nick, what do you
I
got?
wrote dog
I got
for the
nothing.
audio only audience out there.
I got
Well,
nothing.
I'll do this. How can I say it's a farm animal? I'll give you guys a hint because I thought somebody would definitely know what it is. You can re-answer, Vin. It's a farm animal. It should make it easier for you guys. Old McDonald had a farm, Nick. Think of
My
what was on that
marker's
farm.
running out here, but this is what I got.
Well,
I
hold
got
on. What's your
nothing.
set? What's that, Vin?
I
A
wrote goat. Yeah.
Incorrect. What do you got, Nick?
Cow.
It's a horse. Come on, gentlemen.
Horse.
Now that you mention it, I can kind of see the horse in my head on the seal, but.
All right, listen, we got to do a tiebreaker here, and it's going to be take it or leave it, or we're going to end in a tie. Let me go to one more question to see if we can break this tie. All right. The College of New Jersey is the original name of what private research university? Formerly known as the College of New Jersey is the original name of what private research university? And it could have possibly been given as an answer incorrectly in one of the questions earlier today.
Oh.
No.
I was gonna say, then I got it wrong. Okay, hold on.
What do you got, Vin? I see you holding something up.
I wrote Stockton State.
What do you got, Nick?
I got nothing.
Just
got
think
nothing.
But
primary
I
research
guess-
university in Jersey.
I guess based on what you were saying,
I got nothing.
I'll let Nick
Nick,
write
what do you
something
got?
first.
Take a
I
guess.
got nothing.
So you would have said Camden then, right? Like it would have to be Camden.
Da-na-na-na. What you got, Nick?
Camden.
Princeton.
Camden.
I said it was incorrectly given. Princeton.
Oh, because he said
University.
Camden on the Delaware thing. Oh, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
Princeton University. So we got a
I
tie.
could have sworn
1-1.
TCNJ. All right.
Tie
Tie's
goes
better
to
than a
Vin.
loss.
Tie goes
I'll
to the
take
guest
it.
and the tie goes to the guest and the sponsor.
Sure.
Tie's better than a loss. I'll take it.
All right,
Hey,
so what is he getting today?
Listen, he's got a Wawa card. Hold on, you're in Hillsborough. Is that right?
Yes,
Nick?
sir.
You guys have Wawas up there?
Yes, sir.
You
All right,
better.
we'll get you a Wawa gift card. There, you treat yourself to lunch or something up there on us.
God bless
Excellent.
you. I'm putting
Hey,
you right on the
listen,
Christmas card list.
Go ahead, Vin.
Nick, if we've got audience members that would love to check out the school, maybe get some training themselves, how can they, reach out? How can they start that journey?
Or looking for home inspectors, Vin, because
Sure, that too. Yeah.
Home inspections either way. You could contact me at you want phone number, should I throw that out there?
Whatever you think people should hear to get a hold of you.
908-552-1897. Website is nj-ahi.com. That's the school. Detail Home Inspections with an S.com is the home inspection company.
All right, well, thank you so much. I want to thank the New Jersey Academy of Home Inspectors for sponsoring this episode, and of course, Nick, Bruno, for coming and having a great time with us today.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Had a great time. Thank you so much.
Nick,
Thank
thank you,
you.
sir. Thank you.